Hello, everyone. I'm the Dynamite Doll, and this is episode 25 of Dirt with the Doll. I have a special guest in the dollhouse today. He is the host of Bustedopen, Dave LaGreca. How are you today?
I am great. I'm honored to be here and I'm excited. Let's go. I can't
Oh, I'm
wait.
I'm so happy to have you here, and it means so much to me to have your support behind everything I'm doing with the Hall of Fame petition for my dad. So, thank you, and let's get into it.
Let's do it. I'm excited. And yes, it's a great cause, what you're doing for your dad. And I know there's thousands and thousands of people behind it, especially lately because of all the hard work you've been doing. So it's really paying off.
Thank you so much. So I know you talk about wrestling every single day, pretty much of your life. So I want to focus a little more on you today and get to know more about you and your career and your journey.
Okay.
So you live in New Jersey.
I live
Did
in
you
New
grow up
Jersey.
in New Jersey?
Yes, I did. I've been in New Jersey my whole life. I grew up, born, raised, and I live here in Vernon with my wife. It's an empty nest. Our two daughters are out on their own, so we're enjoying life right now. It's been great.
How long has wrestling been a part of your life?
40 years, 42 years.
Wow. Do your daughters like wrestling?
They know, let's say they know how important it is to me.
Mhm.
So they support it. They've come to many events, all of my events. So I think they love it because it's such a big part of, our past and our history and so much a part of my life that I think they just love it because they know how much I love it.
Right. And they probably got to see the world, like travel to different events with you and stuff
Yes.
like
I
that,
mean,
right?
and that's something my wife and I just came back from Vegas and LA for, we went to WrestleMania. We were
Yep.
there for a whole week and then we went to LA for a week. So yeah, that's our pilgrimage every year. So
I was in Vegas as well, but my sister got married and actually Mick Foley married her. So I didn't really do any wrestling things because I was there for the wedding, but ended up Mick Foley married my sister. So I was like, it kind of was wrestling related after all.
So interesting because 2 years ago, it was 2 years ago this month, May,
Yeah.
my two good friends, Josh and Anita Strauss, who's the guitarist for Alice Cooper. I went to their wedding in LA and Mick Foley did the same. So
Yeah.
he was
So he-
phenomenal. It was great.
yeah. So
So,
he actually offered because he's ordained. He was like, well, hey, do you want me to marry your sister? And I was like, okay, like wasn't going to ask, but if you're offering, sure, let's do it. He's a
well,
great friend of mine.
if you ever have any other relatives, I'm ordained as well. So I could do anybody's wedding too. So
Maybe a Jersey wedding.
listen, yeah, New Jersey's awesome. It's beautiful, especially this time of year. So
Your favorite wrestling memory growing up and some of your heroes when you first got into wrestling.
well, I first got into wrestling. It's an interesting story. I was a big New York Yankee fan. And my dad and my mom took me for my birthday to see the Yankees against the Milwaukee Brewers. It was 1982 in July. And I went to the game. And after the game, I tried to get some players' autographs. And each one of my heroes, every single New York Yankee just walked by me, didn't acknowledge me, didn't get me an autograph, didn't say hello. They just completely just walked by me. So that night I was so heartbroken. I tore down all my Yankee posters, all my pictures on my wall. And that was on a Thursday. 2 days later, I was by my friend's house and he was watching Georgia Championship Wrestling. And I had never watched wrestling before. And from that day forward, I fell in love with it. And I think that if I was still that Yankee fan and if I would have gotten an autograph, things would have been completely different. But I was so distraught and upset. And wrestling filled that void for me. And ever since then, I've just been a diehard wrestling fan.
Oh my gosh. But did you meet any wrestlers along the way where that you didn't get the autograph, like kind of flashback from
No,
PTSD Yankees?
it was exactly the opposite. I remember the first wrestler I ever met was Sergeant Slaughter, and he couldn't have been nicer.
Oh, yeah,
And
he's great.
so, and it's funny, last year for my birthday, my producer got Rick Cerrone, who was my favorite New York Yankee, that didn't give me an autograph that day. And and then from that day up until last year, I never watched another Yankee game.
I was
I
going to
swore
say, so you're still
because
not
of
a
that.
fan?
So Rick Cerrone, who was my favorite Yankee, came on the show last summer. apologized to me. So now I'm a Yankee fan again.
Oh, I was going to say, you're probably a Phillies fan like me then.
No, but I missed a lot of great years with the Yankees. All those World Series and everything. I missed all of it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you've ever seen, there's some pictures of my dad. I think he's in Japan, but he's got a Yankees shirt on. And in fact, I actually think he was wearing it in the street fight with Bad News Allen.
okay,
Yeah, and I'm like,
that's
hey,
awesome.
cool
That's
picture,
awesome.
Dad, but wrong team. Should be the Phillies.
What? So when did you become a Phillies fan?
Since I started going to Philadelphia, I just fell in love with everything Philadelphia and got into baseball. And, I haven't watched a lot of sports my whole life growing up because it's always been wrestling.
Yeah.
But I started getting into baseball and I'm like, okay, this I can follow. I love the outdoors, I love the outdoor sports. So
Okay, no, that's funny because for me it was just the opposite. My brother is he works for ESPN. My brother's a sports talk host, radio host here in New York on ESPN radio, and he never got into wrestling, but he loves every other sport, and I was just the opposite. I was all about wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah, but just Philadelphia, they're so passionate about their sports. It's hard
They
not to
are.
get behind them with wrestling, football, baseball, everything.
I'm a Dallas Cowboys football fan, so I can't stand the Eagles. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna cut this out. We've already had issues there. How do you think
wrestling's been I've been a diehard fan ever since that Saturday in July of '82. And I first saw Tommy Wildfire Rich and Buzz Sawyer and Gordon Soley. Like I just fell in love with it, and I've been a fan ever since.
That's such a funny story. I love it. It's very unique. How do you think being from New Jersey, New York area influences your perspective on wrestling?
Well, it's funny because I first fell in love with wrestling with Georgia Championship Wrestling. I was not a big WWF fan. I was a big NWA fan. So what was good for me in 1985, the NWA and the AWA started running shows in New York and New Jersey together to kind of try to compete with Vince McMahon. So I was able to watch a lot of that wrestling live, but I was a big NWA fan. My friend who I was at his house when I first discovered wrestling, he goes, "Have you ever watched wrestling before?" I said, "No." I go, "Isn't that fake?" He goes, "No, this is the NWA. This is real. The WWF is fake." So for my first couple of years when I was watching, I was like, "Oh, that WWF, that's the fake stuff. What I'm watching is the real stuff." So, but eventually, because of the magazines, and I'm a big collector of the magazines, I have a huge collection. Because of the magazines, and because you saw them, Bill Apter and George Napolitano, who are like my gods when it comes to that stuff. I started learning about all the other different companies and associations. So then I started watching everything.
Wow. Yeah. So, and I guess it was a little more like indie feel. That's why they said it was not the fake stuff. The NWA.
Yeah, it was more real. It wasn't like the WWF was more character driven, like superheroes, like over the top characters and personalities. The NWA just felt like more like a fight, like a real competition. So that I think that's what and it was much bloodier and it was just more violent. And I think, and it was WWF's more geared towards children, where I felt like the NWA was more geared towards adults, which I think that's what attracted me more to it.
So how old were you then when you discovered wrestling?
10 years old.
Nice. All the blood.
And it was just, I never saw anything like that before in my entire life. Like I was watching it wide-eyed, and I just never experienced it. It was just like, you know what it was? It was almost like I felt like as a kid, it was something I shouldn't be watching. Like it was like if my parents knew about this, like they wouldn't let me watch it. So like it felt like it was something like forbidden. But my dad would take me to the matches. My dad would take me to the shows. So even more so now, it reminds me of my dad. It reminds me of those close memories of him taking me to the shows when I was a kid.
Aw, I love that. And that's the way it should be. Usually it is someone in the family,
Yep,
introducing it to you or taking you to the shows because you're too
absolutely.
young.
Yeah, and I think that's like sports in general. It's usually like, a parent or a grandparent introduces you, and then as you get older, you feel that connection even
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. What did you do before Busted Open for a living?
Okay, so here's my story, and by the way, Keith Elliott Greenberg. I don't know if you know Keith Elliott Greenberg. He's written a lot of books. He wrote Ric
Yeah, he
Flair's
was there
book.
when I came on Busted Open.
Yes, Keith. So Keith, and he used to write for the WWF magazine back in the day. He's actually writing a book. He's in the process right now of writing a book about the story of Busted Open.
Okay, wow.
So he's about halfway through the book now. So that this will
So we'll have to
unbelievably
save
so.
some of it.
Yeah, my story is actually going to be a book, which is pretty incredible. But my story is I went to college for communications to do radio, and life takes you in a different direction. Right out of school, I got married and bought a house, and I got a job as a banker. I was a bank manager, and then in 2000, I lost my job, I lost my house, I lost my wife, and she left me. So it was like, here I am. I thought I had my life paved, and this was the direction that my life was going in. And then everything that I worked so hard for was completely gone in a year's time.
Mm.
So that I decided to go back to school and go back and relearn communications and pursue my dream of being in radio. And I worked my way up doing internships, working part-time jobs, doing, part-time radio work. And until I got a full-time job at Sirius XM, that was in 2004. And I worked on the NFL channel in 2004. And I just did, me and Doug Mortman, who was also an employee at Sirius, just for fun, we started a wrestling show once a week for an hour on Sirius. And it got bigger and it got bigger and it got bigger to the point where it became my full-time
Yeah,
job. And it's
let's
all
just
that
talk
I did.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Forget
and
football.
then Bubba Ray Dudley joined the show, Tommy Dreamer joined the show, Mark Henry joined the show, and now we have our own 24/7 channel, Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. But it all started from 1 hour once a week to
Yeah.
now being a 24/7 channel on Sirius XM. It's crazy how much it's grown, but it's all because of the passion of the wrestling fan. You know this better
I was
than
gonna
anybody.
say, that just goes to show how much wrestling
Yeah,
fans love it, and they will tune in and support, and
and they want to consume everything. And wrestling fans are the most passionate fans in the world. And there's really not, like, we have podcasts now, a lot of wrestling podcasts. Like, you do a fantastic job, but it's not really mainstream like it should be because there's such a big fan base for it. Like, football and basketball and baseball and hockey have all these platforms. Wrestling radio really doesn't. We're some of the few platforms that wrestling fans have to consume that kind of content. So been very, very lucky, and SiriusXM has been behind it, which I'm very happy about and very appreciative. But it's really because of the fans and their passion and their love for pro wrestling that I've been able to live this dream for the last 17 years almost. It's almost 17 years now.
oh, that's so amazing. What do you
Yeah.
think makes your show stand apart from others?
Well, I think
I
that
guess
it's
there
the
isn't any really to compare
Well,
to.
no, I think it's the dynamic of, I don't try to be a quote unquote professional journalist. I don't try to be an insider. Like, for the lack of a better example, like a Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer has that role, and everybody plays that role. I'm not pretending to be that. I'm a
Facts,
wrestling fan. I'm
yeah.
just a fan. I talk about it from the fans' perspective. I'm not a professional. I'm not a journalist. I'm not an insider. I'm just a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
But I'm
that's what Keith's
talking,
for.
yeah. But I'm talking to legends. I'm talking to Hall of Famers. So I
Yeah,
think it's that dynamic of having the actual legendary performer and the fan. And and that mix. And we're not always going to see eye to eye. The wrestler is going to look at it a certain way, and I'm going to look at it a certain way. We have, Natty. Natty's amazing. Natty Neidhart was
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
her birthday today. Happy birthday,
And by the way,
Natty.
happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my birthday on the 26th. It's also Natty's birthday on the same. Sorry, Natty's sister's birthday on the same day as mine, and then Natty's is the 27th.
This is incredible. Incredible.
So many May
Absolutely
birthdays.
incredible. So, like, to me, it's just a lot of fun to have that dynamic, and we don't look at the business the same way. They look at it as a performer, and I don't look at it as that way. I still believe that, and this is one thing that's kind of getting lost in the wrestling business. I still believe there needs to be that line that fans don't cross. I've never stepped in a ring and actually wrestled a match, so I don't know what it's like in that perspective. I don't pretend to understand what that's like. So I listen to them because they know, they understand, they've been there, they've done that.
Yeah.
I think you got to stay in your lane, but at the same time, just because I'm a fan doesn't mean I can't have an opinion and I can't be critical. So I think it's that dynamic and that chemistry that really makes Bustedopen different than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. The different outlooks. What are some of the challenges?
I love arguing. I love to fight. I go on rants. The most famous rant was the one I had on The Rock.
Yeah.
And he acknowledged it, and we actually got to meet face to face. But like, I think I didn't see it.
Did that one start when you were only doing a 1 hour a week?
No, that was actually my fight with The Rock, or I shouldn't say fight, but my disagreement with The Rock was WrestleMania 40, leading up to WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So I'm watching SmackDown. Rock shows up and basically is taking away Cody Rhodes' opportunity to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So that Monday on the air, I didn't shave for days. I didn't comb my hair. My hair was a mess. I didn't shower. And I wore my wife's pink bathrobe onto the show. So I'm just in an undershirt, my wife's pink bathrobe, and my hair's a mess, and I didn't shave. And I went on the most colossal rant on The Rock. And The Rock saw it, and he went to Instagram, and he went on a rant on me on Instagram about being a Cody crybaby. And that started hashtag Cody Crybabies. And I rallied around the troops. I said, let's go. I can't let this happen. And the next thing you know, Cody Rhodes is back in the main event against Roman Reigns, and all is right with the world. So, I spoke up for what I thought was an injustice to my guy, Cody Rhodes.
Is that like you lost sleep over it, and so that's why you wore the robe?
Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I didn't have the effort. I didn't have the energy to shave or do my hair or anything like that. And then I got the opportunity to meet The Rock. I gave him the pink robe. So The Rock has the pink robe. He took it and he actually posted about it the next day on his Instagram page. So, and I think he appreciated the passion. I asked him to put the robe on. I said, put the robe on. He wouldn't do it. That he would not do. But I think he appreciates and respects the passion. And
he did the Tooth Fairy gimmick, so he didn't want to do that again.
But like, I respect his love and passion for pro wrestling too, because he does have a love and passion for this. It's in his blood, and I think it's in every one of anyone that's a fan. I always say, those who don't understand, no explanation is enough, and those who do love it and understand it, no explanation is necessary. Like, that's what it's all about. You can't get somebody who doesn't get it to get it. But those who get it, they get it for life. So
yeah, it's a tight-knit society we're in.
It really is.
What are the biggest struggles getting daily content? Is it a struggle, or do you find there's so much out there? Yeah.
I have been doing the show now, like I said, for over 16 years. There's never been a day for me where I was like, what do we talk about today? That's never happened. And we've now been 5 days a week. Monday through Friday. I've been doing it for almost a decade, and that doesn't
Wow.
it really really because like either there's think about it. You got on Mondays you got Raw,
Yeah.
Tuesdays you have NXT, Wednesdays you have AEW Dynamite, Thursdays you have TNA, Fridays you have SmackDown, then you have Collision on Saturdays, you have pay-per-views, you have independent wrestling. Like
You have too
there's
much
rest-
almost.
there's wrestling every night. There's wrestling every single night. Plus, I love talking about history.
Yeah.
Like doing a show on your dad or doing a show about the greatest tag teams of all time. On our show
Bringing
today,
it back.
yes, today we talked about the Mount Rushmore of old school wrestling managers. Like there's always something. Or
With Slick on there, I love Slick. Big fan of Slick.
Slick is not on my Mount Rushmore, though I do love Slick. But
I mean, I guess there's only room for 4.
yeah, but I had Jimmy Hart. We had Jimmy Hart on the show to talk about that. There's always something to talk about, or this day in history, and there's always something to talk about. There's the one thing about wrestling and SiriusXM. There's a football channel, there's a baseball channel, there's a hockey channel, there's a basketball channel. All those sports have an off season. All those sports for half the year, there's nothing going on. Well, in wrestling, there is no off season. It's going on constantly every single month, week, day. There's always something going on. As you and I are doing this show, there's wrestling going on. So there's always wrestling, and there's always something to talk about.
How far in advance do you plan your topics? Is it just the night before, or do you just wing it?
I have a producer. My producer puts together a rundown of things that he feels is topical that would be good for the show. I'll tell you this. I don't think I've ever looked at the rundown once. Like I wing it. I just go on the air, and whatever I feel is the biggest topic, that's what I'll start the show with. Or I'll ask my co-host before the show, hey Tommy, what do you really want to get into today? What's grabbing you? And if he says something, then that's where we'll go. And other great thing about Bustedopen is we're live, so we take phone calls. Yeah. So we're on for 3 hours a day, and we take phone calls. So there's always people that want to talk about whatever we're talking about, or maybe something different. So,
what's the biggest lesson you've learned interviewing all these different personalities?
Is that they're different personalities. I think like you got to let them go. The one thing I love about wrestling, as opposed to any other sport or any form of entertainment, is that all pro wrestlers are a character and a personality. They're each one of them is compelling. Each one of them has a story. Each one of them is entertaining in their own way. Like you can interview a baseball player or an NFL player, and they have no personality. They have no character. They're not looking, hey, I just want to play the game. I really don't want to talk about it. Every wrestler wants to expand their brand, get their name out there, and they're all entertaining in their own way. So I've learned to kind of just let it go. Like
never a dull moment.
Yes, never a dull moment. And I'll have like a list of questions that I'll prepare for an interview, and I'll have a list of questions, but I hope I don't get to those questions. I'm hoping that my interview wouldn't be an interview. I don't want to do an interview. I want to have a conversation. So like one answer, like I'll have a list of questions, but hopefully that first question I ask I'll get an answer that takes the conversation in a completely different direction. So you have to be alert of that. Don't feel like I have to get all this. I have to get all this in. I gotta get everything, my stuff in. No, let the person you're interviewing go and see where that conversation takes you. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned. How
long do you think it took you to get there? Because I absolutely am like, my questions on point, but
no, it takes a while to get there.
Yeah,
because I feel, and this is for somebody who's been doing it for almost 17 years. I feel like when you have those questions and you're trying to stick to those questions, then you're not really listening to the answers that your guest is giving you, because you want to get to your questions, right?
Yeah.
So there's times that you're going to get to those questions. There's times that maybe you're not getting the answers you're looking for. But I feel like that should just be something that you go to if you need to go to it. But if you're having a conversation, if you're just having a conversation with somebody, you're having lunch with somebody, you don't know what questions you're going to talk to your friend when you go to meet them for lunch. You're just going to meet your friend for lunch, right?
Yeah.
But you talk for the whole hour that you're together and you're having lunch, because the conversation's going to take you different places, and their answers are going to take you different places. And your something that they say is going to pique your curiosity. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And you're going to go, like, you don't go into a lunch having, all right, I got to ask my friend this, and this. And no, you just have a conversation. And I bet you that conversation you have is very entertaining. So that's what I try to do. But it does take time to do that.
Absolutely.
It's like anything else. Like when you learn to do something for the first time, you take notes and you go, all right, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. But then as you start to do it more and more, you're not looking at your notes and you're not following the steps. You start to feel it and you know where to go with it, because you get a feeling for doing it. That takes time, and just like anything else, it takes time.
Absolutely. How do you balance personal opinions but still maintain a professional, unbiased approach?
It's a great question, and I think it goes back to my fandom. I have no problem just speaking my mind. Like, there's never been a point where I was like, should I not say this or should I say this? I give my honest opinion. Here's the other thing. At the end of the day, and I wish more people would understand this, that cover wrestling and follow wrestling and do shows. It's just wrestling. It's pro wrestling. It's a form of entertainment. Like, it's my livelihood. It's how I pay my mortgage. It's how I feed my family. So I take it very serious, but at the same time, it's entertainment. It's not life or death. It's not changing the world. So let's have fun with it, right? Like don't be so hard on it. Like, let's have fun. It's a form of entertainment. So let's enjoy it. Be entertaining, So, like, you could be critical, but at the same time, fair. And I think that's fine. And again, the other thing is, I am never going to step over that line. I'm never going to pass that boundary. I've never been in a ring and wrestled. So who am I to say when a mistake happens, or there's certain verbiage I won't use. I never use the word botch. I hate that word botch. It's like fingernails on a chalk. Who am I to say they botched that? Like, I'm not a wrestler. I don't know what happened. I don't know what actually happened in the ring. What, as a fan, as I'm watching, it may look one way, but when I talk to a Mark or a Tommy or a Bully, they say, "No, Dave, you don't get it. This happened because this happened before it." Or it's not really anyone's fault. It's just something that happens in the ring when two people get in there. So I stay away from certain verbiage because, again, I'm not crossing that line. I'm just a fan. I'm not a performer.
So have you ever said anything on air that you got in trouble for, or are you pretty cautious of crossing that line?
Well, things have grabbed people's attention, no doubt about it. Like the situation with The Rock. Exactly. I wasn't expecting that actually to go to The Rock. But I again speak my mind. So I'm sure there's probably people out there that might have been upset about something I said. But again, I don't go after anybody on a personal level. I don't go at anybody about, how they can't wrestle or anything like that. So it's more about criticism of what I see on the show and how I think it could have been better, or I just wasn't entertained by it. So I don't think I'm going to get anybody very angry because, again, like, I'm not attacking anybody on a personal level. So, and I would never do that. So I think they understand where my passion and my anger comes from. Like, I was speaking to Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu listens to the show. So his wife said to him, like, why is that Dave always angry? And he goes, no, hon, he's
Just
not
passionate.
angry. He's just passionate. And
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
You sound like a Philly fan.
No, I sound like don't compare me to a Philly fan, please. I'm
Uh,
joking. I love Philadelphia wrestling fans. They're the best.
yeah, they
They're the
are.
best.
That's why I fell in love. The first show I went to there, and just they showed up talking about my dad and paying their respects to me and what they remember of him, and so it was
Was
so
it at
great.
the ECW arena?
It
I mean,
was.
that
How
is
could I not
holy
fall in
ground.
love?
Yep, that is holy ground. That is.
Hmm.
I used to go back and I used to take that ride. It took about 2.5 hours from my house to drive from Jersey to South Philly to go to the ECW arena to watch ECW back in the 90s. And it's still some of my favorite memories of being a fan is going to the ECW arena.
Yeah, it's legendary.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is the most appealing part of wrestling for you?
It's the magic, the mystique of thinking but you really don't know.
Yeah,
Um, I love that. I love was that real or was that
yeah,
or like and not really understanding the difference and not wanting to know. Like I'll come on the air and I say they got me. Like I'll be like they got me.
yeah.
And then fans
That's
will
the
get on
best.
me. Yeah, fans on social media be like, "Oh, you're stupid. How could you not get?" No, because I want to believe in the magic. I
Yeah.
want to believe in the mystique. I don't want David Copperfield to tell me how the magic happens or how this trick works. Him to show me how something disappeared and then tell the audience, well, this is how I got that object to disappear. I don't want to know that. I
No.
want to believe in the magic. I want to believe in the mystique. That's why it bothers me sometimes about like shows like Unreal. I don't want the curtain to be peeled back. I want to believe in the mystique and the magic. And that mystique and the magic, I think, keeps everybody watching. That's when it's the most compelling, is when it seems real and you don't know if it's real or not. That's
Mhm.
what I love most about wrestling.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job when that's your reaction.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like, and why would you want to know? Like, that's the other thing I don't get. Like, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I
Yeah,
appreciate, yeah, like, but Star Wars fans I'll use as the example. If you spoil the end of a movie, or they call spoilers, they want your head. They're like, how can you do that? Or a TV show that just came out that people are binge watching. Don't spoil it for everybody. No spoilers. Well, why do people want to spoil wrestling? Why do people like, oh, here's a picture of so and so at the airport, or here's a picture
yeah.
of somebody backstage? I'll never understand why people want to spoil the surprises. And that seems to only happen in wrestling. It's the only form where people try to expose everything. I don't want to know. I want to find out. I want to be surprised. I want the shock. I don't want to know beforehand.
It's like people ruining Christmas and Santa. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
you don't want to know what you're going to get for Christmas before Christmas. There's nothing better than like Christmas morning, getting up and opening up those gifts and the surprise and the shock and the awe. That's those things that I want in wrestling. And I think people are forgetting about it and trying to expose the business way too much.
Yeah. What is your top career moment so far?
I've had a bunch, and I've been lucky enough to have that. I was inducted into International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So our good friend Seth Turner.
Shout
Uh,
out to Seth.
yes, love Seth Turner. He's an amazing dude.
Yeah.
I went into the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Mark Henry inducted me.
Oh,
That was
so great.
and that was a surprise. He told me he couldn't come to the ceremony because he had to be overseas and he wasn't going to be able to make it. And as a complete surprise, he flew into New York and to Albany and inducted me into the Hall of Fame, which was just an amazing moment.
Was that last year?
It was 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago. Then when Bustedopen, we got Sirius XM when we went to 7 days a week. We had a billboard in Times Square. So to see the show I created and the brand and my face on a billboard in Times Square in New York was pretty freaking cool.
Wow.
That was a great moment. But
Did you take
nothing
a
beats.
picture of it? I mean,
Oh
must.
yeah,
Did you
oh
print
yeah,
it?
yep. There, I do. I have it. I have it on right here on the wall in my
That's
studio.
super cool. So
Um,
7 days a week, but you recorded 5 days a week? Is that
no, so
you are on 7
we're
days a week?
live. We're
Okay.
live. So I'm live every day, Monday through Friday, but we do shows on Saturday. We do Sundays. I only host our morning show Monday through Friday, but
Okay.
we have multiple shows on a whole channel now. But
Yeah.
it started with Busted Open 1 hour once a week, but now we're an entire channel. So
I see. I
um,
see.
yeah, but when you hear me, it's live.
Yeah.
But we also put videos on YouTube, and we also have a podcast that
Mhm.
we post every day as well. Um, and I host that too. The other thing is we do our WrestleMania events. This past WrestleMania, we did a show at the Wynn in Las Vegas. We had over 1,600 fans in attendance.
I
So
saw that.
so whenever we get to be around the fans and around the Busted Open Nation, that means the most to me. So I
Yeah,
love
that's awesome.
I love being around our fans. So those are always my favorite moments. And then probably another big moment for me, my all-time favorite wrestler is Ric Flair. And last year at WrestleMania, we did a show. It was me, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry, and Bully Ray, and we interviewed Ric Flair for an hour, 68 floors up on the Vegas Strip. So to do that at Circa, so to do that was really cool because here I am talking to my all-time favorite wrestler. So I've thanks to SiriusXM and thanks to the fans, I've had some pretty amazing moments in my career, which I'm very, very proud of.
No kidding. Congratulations on all your
Thank you.
success.
Thank you. I
So,
appreciate
have you
that.
ever fanboyed over meeting anyone? Did you have a fanboy moment when you met Ric Flair? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's always whenever, and I've become very good friends with Ric Flair. But it's Ric Flair,
yeah,
like how do you not? But it's funny, getting to talk to The Rock and I've interviewed The Undertaker and so many, uh, you know, it's really those wrestlers, and I appreciate those moments and I appreciate those guests. But it's really the legends that I grew up watching are the
mhm,
ones that will always kind of
bring me back.
bring me back. Those wrestlers, those are the ones that I kind of mark out for. I saw you at 80s WrestleCon in Parsippany, New Jersey, right? We got
Mhm,
we
yeah,
got we got a time to see each other. When I meet like an Austin Idol and I meet even George Napolitano and Bill Apter, who I worshipped as a kid. Like
yeah,
when I meet a Tommy Wildfire Rich, who was the first wrestler I ever saw on my TV. Like those are the wrestlers I mark out for.
that
You
makes
know?
sense.
Yeah.
Takes you back to being a kid. That's how
And
I felt meeting Tatanka at 80s Con because I loved him growing up. So I was so excited to meet him, and he still has a mullet, so I was happy.
that's all. And another cool moment is when we announced the channel and the launch of the channel. Um, I made the announcement and I got a phone call because, as I said, the first wrestler I ever saw was Tommy Wildfire Rich. So I was telling that story on the air and explaining, the first time I saw wrestling and when I fell in love with wrestling. And then we got a call from Tommy Wildfire Rich. He called into the show and he comes on the air and he's talking to me. And then I'm like, all right, this accent sounds a little fake. I don't think this is Tommy Rich. And it turned out to be The Undertaker.
Oh,
The Undertaker called into the show and pranked me and pretended to be Tommy Rich.
he
Like
knew you
that's
loved him.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Like that's pretty cool. And he goes, and then he said it was it's The Undertaker. And I said, I gotta be honest with you, I wish it was Tommy Rich, but it's good to have you on. But no, but like those
Fun moments.
it's not, and you understand this, and I think you're definitely realizing it now with all these fans that are getting behind you about putting your dad into the Hall of Fame, right?
Mhm.
We're all part of the same community. I have no competition. My podcast isn't competing with any other podcast. My show's not competing with any other shows. We're all part of the same family. We're all part of the same community. We should all be supporting one another. Like
Yeah,
if anybody
agree.
says, "Hey, can you come on my show?" Yes. If anybody says, "Can I come on your show to promote my show?" Yes.
Yeah,
Like I'm the only thing that I try to stay away from are some of the more toxic podcasts because I just feel
fair. That makes
like
sense.
yeah, like I don't, I there's no reason for that. But
But you
other
still
than
have to protect everything you've worked for too. So and the
yeah,
same with
but I
like
just
everything I'm doing.
yeah, and yes, and it's for a good cause and it's for something good. Like I just
Yeah.
don't understand like shows that are trying to take the industry down or take the
Yeah.
business down. Like that those are the things I kind of shy away from. But other than that, we're all the same community. We should be supporting one another.
Yeah. Or do you have any side passion projects besides wrestling? Anything outside of wrestling?
I don't have the time.
I
I
was
mean,
gonna say I don't know when you'd have time.
well, my wife Violetta is a what she does, what's her passion, and it's become my passion because I love her and I know how
Support
much
her.
happiness and joy it brings her. She loves to save animals,
Okay, I love
and
her.
yeah, and so and we're actually in the process of finding one. She'll take stray cats in, bring them back to health, take them to the vet, get them spayed or neutered, and
Yeah.
then find them a home. So my shed has become a house home, like a home for cats. And then we actually built another shed just for it's a sanctuary for cats. And it's something she's very, very passionate about. So it's definitely a lot of my paycheck goes towards that,
So
but
just
it's
cats, not dogs, just cats,
well,
right?
we do have a dog. I have a black lab, Cody,
Mhm.
who we saved and is an amazing part of our family, and I love her to death. We adopted a black lab. When we went to pick it up, they said it was a male, so I named it Cody Rhodes after
Yeah.
Cody. And then when we picked the dog up, it was a female. So I had already gone on the air and told everybody it was Cody, so we kept the name Cody.
I feel
But
like
she's
that could be a
awesome.
girl name.
Yeah, good. Yeah, absolutely.
Unisex.
So, but my wife saves cats because that seems to be what's really needed in the area that we are now. There's a lot of stray cats that don't have a home, so that's her passion
Yeah.
project is finding home for cats.
Yeah, I used to volunteer at a cat foundation here in Calgary, so I'm completely on board with that with her, and I get it completely. I just didn't have cats in my home doing it, but
No, and
I
we have we're actually tied with Natty for the amount of cats that we have in our home.
oh, really?
So
How many
yeah,
is that? Is that like 9?
no, we have 12 cats.
Oh, 12. Jeez.
So
I have 3 cats.
and
One just
that's a
came by.
lot.
I was hoping he would come. It is
Yeah,
a lot
like
because they're
yeah,
indoor
it's a
cats.
lot. But we have homes. It's there.
Come here,
It's
Chester.
but
Come
we.
here.
Oh, there you go, Chester.
Oh,
Okay.
he's beautiful. Come. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's gorgeous. What a gorgeous cat. Oh my
Yeah, I
goodness.
know.
And they're
He's
they're
the one. So when I was working at the Meow Foundation, I was kept wanting to take them home. He's the one that I got.
yeah, but that's fine. But we
But he was
find
a
our
kitten when
we
I got him.
find our cats home, and it's a screening process. We want to make sure that they're going to a healthy and happy home that we know is going to take care of the
Mhm.
cat, and that the cat's not going to find its way
Yeah,
onto the street again. So,
yeah. So is
it's
she like a licensed business? Like this is her
no,
a foundation? No,
she does it. She does
just
it
out of the
with
goodness of her heart.
well, yes, but she also does. She doesn't obviously get paid for it. It's all
Yeah,
volunteer, but
yeah.
she does it in conjunction with the shelter that we have here in our town.
Okay.
So they work hand in hand. So yeah, it's her love and it's her
She
passion.
traps them because that's what they call
Yep.
it here, like trap, neuter, spade, or something.
Yeah. So we that and then but like if it's sick, we have it. We'll keep the cat in our home until it gets healthy enough, and then we take it to the vet, and then we find the cat a home. And then and that in that way too, it becomes adjusted, so it becomes very social with us. So when they do find a home, the cat will be social with their new owners.
Well, I
So
love your wife already. I can completely get on board with that.
and then Cody
I,
takes a lot of my time too. Cody's our dog, our black lab is very, very needy. So
Oh, dogs, yeah, they're like
yeah,
children. Cats are a
yeah.
little easier. That's why I have cats.
So between that and wrestling, I really don't have a time for a hobby. To be quite honest, and
Sounds like a lot.
that's my passion. Those are my loves. So I don't work. I've never worked a day. It's been a long time since I've worked because everything that I do is something that I really love and I'm passionate about. So
What qualities do you think it takes to make it to your level of success where you're at now?
I think being genuine and honest with your audience, not pretending to be something that you're not, and being a bridge of being offer that branch of help to others as well, and be kind of that platform and understanding the importance of the platform.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of just being genuine to my audience. I don't lie to my audience. The person that you hear on the show is me. It's just cranked up to 10, but it's me, and I think people love that. And listen, the people who are on with me, I'm very lucky to have Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry, Thunder Rosa, Natty Neidhart, Nick Nemeth, Bishop Dyer. They're all amazing parts of this Bustedopen brand. And they've taken this show to new heights that I never imagined. And they have my internal gratitude because they really helped make this dream come true. So
I think, yeah, being passionate, kind, and remaining humble, super important, and something that I've seen Natty exude for all these years. Very.
yeah, and I
I
think
see
that's
that
important.
from you as well.
My friend Josh always says ego kills talent. And I really do believe that. Like,
Exactly.
you got to stay humble. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to put that debit card into the ATM and, nothing come out of it. Like, I know what that's like. And, everybody's been there, everybody's been that, and you can't forget that. I still to this day, when I go to an ATM, I never ask for my balance because I know what it's like to see a negative sign before that. So I understand, and I understand that maybe people listening to us right now that might be dealing with it. Just know that today, the next day is a better day, and when just keep dreaming because you keep dreaming, those dreams could come true.
Manifestation, positive thinking. That's what I'm working on.
Yep, and
It really, really works.
DDP said this to me when we launched our channel. DDP came on and he said, never listen to somebody who says, I don't see it. Well, you don't see it because you don't see it, but somebody else might. Like, I don't see it. Well, yeah, but I can visualize it. I can see it. And you really don't know until you try. And I think a lot of people are afraid to try something. Now, I had no choice but to go in a completely different direction in my life. The way that my road was going, I thought that was the way it was going to go. But because of beyond my control, I had to go in a different direction. Don't be afraid to try something different and to try something new. If you're not happy, you can't make anybody else happy. So you always, it's not a selfish way of thinking. You have to make yourself happy first before you can make anyone else happy. So be happy.
True.
Find something that makes you happy.
Mm-hmm. Even as a parent, you got to put yourself first.
Yes, and be around people that make you happy.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I yelled at my cat because he almost knocked over this pink Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I thought it was going to crash.
He might be saying it's not Christmas. The time to take the Christmas tree down.
But it's pink. That's why it's stayed up. It's pink.
I get it. I understand.
Any misconceptions people have of you? Probably your anger online.
Yeah, I think like people think I'm angry, and I'm not angry. It's just I'm passionate, but I'm not angry, and I feel like, now more than ever in the world, if somebody has a different opinion than you, then they automatically don't like you. Like, that's ridiculous. You and I might have different opinions about things, but that's okay. Like, and maybe we discuss it, and maybe I might think a different way than I thought because of that discussion. I feel like people need to, like, that's the one thing I don't like about social media. I'll make a comment on the air and people put it out on social media, and they'll judge the entire conversation by one line or one quote. Well, you didn't listen to the whole conversation. Plus, so you're judging me by one thing I said, not the entire conversation. And again, it's wrestling. So let's open it up to maybe different opinions and different things. And I think that's the biggest misconception.
For sure. Those I know people like that, and they're those very stubborn ones. Probably a Taurus.
Yeah. You have Cancer the crab, so I'm open.
Are you a Cancer? Oh, my daughter's Cancer.
There you go.
Her birthday's July 11th.
Mine's the 15th.
Okay, well, same week.
There you go.
Is there any local promotions near you you're excited about?
Yes. Yes, there's one that when they call me to be a part of it, I always go, and that's
Is it Awesome?
Awesome Championship Wrestling. And they do shows out of the old Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. And there's a lot of history in that building. And they Vic and Hale do a tremendous job with ACW. And again, they do it the right way.
Yeah. I heard of them through Seth. He puts them over as well.
Yes. If the next time you're in the area, seriously, you need to go to a show. They put on a phenomenal show. They get all the top indie talent to come in when they run their shows. And the other thing is they sell out. They fill that building, and they really have done a great job of bringing pro wrestling back to Poughkeepsie. And Poughkeepsie has a great pro wrestling fan base. But ACW, Awesome Championship Wrestling. Also, I'm a firm believer and supporter of ISPW, Tommy Fierro's.
Yeah, I love Tommy. He does so much.
Yeah, ISPW does a phenomenal job, and Tommy Fierro's the one who, ran 80s Wrestling Con in Parsippany, and he has a show and he has a store in Stockholm, New Jersey called the Wrestling Collector, which is great too. Yeah. So those
he works, lives and breathes wrestling as much as you.
Yeah, he really does. He's a phenomenal guy too. I'm a big supporter of him, and he's a big supporter of the show. So I love Tommy Fierro.
Yeah, I have a few fan questions for you.
So
we'll get into those and then wrap it up here soon. So, what has WWE lost now that it's not New York centric?
I think, and I think this is all for like territorial wrestling, is just the feel of the territory that they're in. You can see the style, and that was always New York. And I feel like other parts of the country, like they're wrestling a little bit different. So I feel like that's the biggest thing that they lost, is just that feel of that East Coast wrestling style. That really, like the Bruno Sammartinos and the Bob Backlunds, they have, and it's working in a big way, but they're not thinking locally anymore. They're thinking globally, because the WWE is a global product right now.
Yeah, miss the territory days. Did you ever watch Stampede Wrestling?
I did. I was a big tape trader.
Okay.
So I did watch Stampede Wrestling, and I went to, when I worked for the NHL, was the first time I went to Calgary, and I went to the Saddle Dome, and
such a crappy venue.
But there's character and personality to it, and like
we're getting a new one. They're working on a new one.
Are they?
Yeah.
So for me, when I went to Calgary, it wasn't about hockey. It was about Stampede Wrestling, like that, like so yeah. There's a lot of history with that, and yes, I'm a big fan of the territories. I still go back and watch a lot of territory wrestling. I love it.
Super cool. My cat is being a bugger over there. This is why he's not allowed down here. What do you think is the biggest what if in professional wrestling history? A match that never happened, a wrestler's career that was cut short, or a promotion that went out of business, etc.?
Okay, so for me, and I know that they did meet in the ring many times, but it was perfectly set up for it to happen. and that is Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. Like, it was there. It was supposed to happen. Flair won the Rumble. It was all there, and they went into a completely different direction. And even though they wrestled on house shows and they wrestled in WCW, the fact that Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair never met at WrestleMania and it could have happened, to me, is just, it bothers me. It really does.
Yeah, I love how you had that answer right away. You knew.
Yeah. Oh no, it bothers me.
He's
It
been losing
bothers me.
sleep.
Yeah, it
Bust out
bothers
the pink robe. Your favorite match of all time?
Ric Flair, Terry Funk, I Quit. Tommy Young was the referee. Gary Michael Capetta was the ring announcer, and the commentators were Jim Ross and Gordon Soley. To me, and that's my number one, number two. My number one is Ric Flair. My number two is Terry Funk. So my two all-time favorite wrestlers, the two best wrestlers, in my opinion, in an I Quit match with the two best commentators in Gordon Soley and Jim Ross, and the best referee of all time.
Was that NWA?
Yep, NWA. Yep.
Awesome. So I like to do a little this or that segment just for fun, and just tell me which one you prefer or lean towards. Okay. Bruce Springsteen or Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi.
Have you seen him?
I've never seen Bruce Springsteen, but I've seen Bon Jovi. Yep. I'm a hard rock metal guy, so I'm gonna lean towards Bon Jovi.
Who's your favorite metal band? I gotta ask because I'm a metal girl.
Okay, well, my all-time favorite is Alice Cooper. I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. But if you're gonna talk about real, like Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Oh, I saw them recently. They were so good. My first time.
Motorhead's another. I love Motorhead.
You've been to the Rainbow Room?
I've been to the Rainbow Room many times. I was just in LA, and when we go to LA, I got to go to the Rainbow Room, and I got a bunch of pictures. And I actually asked the waitress if I can go to the lair up in the attic, because there was a room where there was a club called the Hollywood Vampires. It was Alice Cooper, Keith Moon, John Lennon, Mickey Dolenz, and Harry Nilsson, and they would meet in this room up in the attic, and they had their own drinking club, and It's still there. So if you go to next time you go to Rainbow Room, ask to go into the Hollywood Vampires lair.
Oh, are you allowed to go up there, or are you just special?
It's padlocked, but there's ways.
Yeah. Coffee from a street cart or a fancy cafe?
Oh, I'm a big coffee mark. I have 2 cups a day, in the morning and in the afternoon. I never had coffee until I got into radio, and it was my first overnight. It was my first overnight shift, and I was working with somebody. They said, "Hey, do you want me to get you coffee?" I said, "I don't drink coffee." He's like, "You don't drink coffee?" I said, "Never had it. I just don't want to." He goes, "I'm going to get you a cup of coffee," and from that day forward, I've had a cup of coffee every day of my life. But to answer your question, I am a coffee snob, so I'm going to say from a fancy cafe.
Fair. Pay-per-views or weekly shows?
Weekly shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I love pay-per-views too, but weekly shows. That's the cliffhanger that keeps you invested every single week. So weekly shows for me.
Podcast or traditional radio? That's gonna be a hard one for you.
I'm gonna go with podcasts. I'm gonna go with podcasts. There's no rules in podcasts. Traditional radio, there's too many rules, and I don't like too many rules.
There's time limits, and
so you got to break.
Can you swear? You swear on there, right?
You can't swear on terrestrial radio. So I satellite radio. You can say whatever you want. You can curse. So I unfortunately sometimes I curse.
Oops. That's the wrestling fan in you. So that completes all my questions today. Is there anything coming up you would like to plug, or events, merchandise, anything like that?
Yeah, go to podswag.com/bustedopen for all the Bustedopen merchandise we have.
Were those new t-shirts you had?
Yeah, we got t-shirts, hoodies, hats, swimwear. We got bathing suits. We got towels. You can also get the pink robe. Pink robes are available. You can buy a pink robe. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely going to look.
So definitely check that out. Also, we're on Sirius XM channel 156, 24/7, Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. So check us out. You get your wrestling fix, and also we have the Bustedopen podcast, which is available wherever you get your podcasts, and we have the Masters class that drops every week. It's with me, Mark, Tommy, and Bully. We drop an episode every single Monday, so you have the Masters class as well. And then if you want to see my pretty face, go to YouTube, and we have our videos on YouTube. We have our own Bustedopen YouTube page, so check that out. And you can follow us on all socials: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, all as well. So make sure you're following Bustedopen. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been a blast. I so appreciate it. I can't wait to see you the next time I'm in Jersey or New York area, which hopefully will be very soon. I hope you have a lovely summer taking care of those cats and doing wrestling things.
Yeah, and the next time in New York, you were good enough to come in studio that one day to our studios in New York.
I look forward to coming back.
Yes, you have an open door. Anytime you want to come on, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Make sure you subscribe to X Brand Wrestling on YouTube and sign that petition to get my dad in the WWE Hall of Fame. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.